Hey, welcome back everyone. It is now July 2nd of 2022, and we're not only getting closer to Star Wars Andor, but also very close to the Bad Batch Season 2, as well as Tales of the Jedi, which are all slated to be released by this fall. This is Mike ZEROH. Make sure to subscribe if you're new to the channel for future Star Wars updates. Also, by the way guys, make sure to drop a thumbs up on this video to support the channel. I thank you all so very much for the kind support. It is greatly appreciated. Now, with Star Wars Andor set to release on August 31st, we have a lot of things also to look forward to, such as Disney Plus Day and D23 that's going to unveil a lot of new Star Wars releases, as well as other projects that are currently in the works as well. Now, on top of all of this, we already know that the Disney executives have been very much hard at work on developing numerous Star Wars projects within, of course, over at Lucasfilm, and really trying to make things for the better for the Star Wars universe. Now, obviously, a lot of things have changed by Disney, and of course, this was all rooted to the executives, to CEO Bob Chapek making and calling specific decisions on exactly how Star Wars should be treated moving ahead. Now, thankfully, we have creators out there like Favreau, Filoni, Lucas, really leading Star Wars in a new path to really give fans a brand new take on the franchise. Now, when you focus on things like what's happening with Obi-Wan Kenobi Season 2 and the Mandalorian Season 3 and 4, by the way, which are being worked on back-to-back, the Ahsoka Tano series is one project that is actually moving along in production quite flawlessly. I mean, really no, setbacks, no problems within. It's moving along very fast, and it's actually expected to begin, the Hayden Christensen oriented scenes by the end of July. Now, with that being said, however, what's really intriguing has a lot to do with Johnny Depp in the Star Wars universe. Now, with Disney currently developing many Star Wars TV shows for the Star Wars universe moving ahead, currently Bob Chapek, the CEO, has been making many adjustments behind the scenes over at Lucasfilm. However, it's described that one big development that happened not so long ago involved actor Johnny Depp and how he was a part of the Star Wars universe for a new mystery Star Wars TV show that was going to feature him as the character known as Hondo. This series was going to take place during the animated Star Wars TV shows, except in live-action form, specifically a Clone Wars era live-action spin-off. Depp was hired for the role behind the scenes a couple of years ago, and was attached to this new Star Wars TV show for Disney Plus for quite some time. However, since the rise of the Amber Heard issues coming to light and everything that came after Disney decided to fire Depp from the role of Hondo and let him go from the Star Wars TV series for the role of Hondo for good, and of course, however, recently Disney offered him back the role of Hondo for this live-action Star Wars series that is still currently in development, where Johnny Depp declined the role after the trial between himself and Amber Heard came to a close. The main reason as to why Disney fired Depp from the Hondo role had a lot to do with the Amber Heard situation and the drama from the trial, and also after letting him go from Pirates, this only made things more difficult and awkward for them to actually keep Depp on board of this massive role in a series that was actually being created by Favreau and Filoni that is still being made to this day. However, as of now, Disney is looking to get somebody else for the role of Hondo. However, Disney really was all set on Depp to play the character in depth. Johnny, of course, was also excited to join the Star Wars universe, as he loves to do roles that require lots of makeup, where he can fully immerse himself into the experience and into that role. Now, further, another reason why Depp was fired from the role was because Depp eventually began to come up to a disagreement on what he was being offered for the role by Disney, and was demanding a larger amount of income by Disney to play the role of Hondo in this live-action series. However, Disney refused to accept his demands, since they did not want to go over budget with this new series that is set to focus on key Star Wars characters between the Clone Wars and other eras, that serves as a live-action Clone Wars spin-off series that will be announced by this fall to the Star Wars fandom. Now, let me just, pause right here for a second, because this, of course, obviously brings a lot of questions to light. Now, obviously, Hondo is one of the fan favorite characters if you guys are a fan of the Clone Wars or anything that expands the Star Wars universe and animated material. Hondo is a big deal. Now, Hondo is, of course, one of the respected characters that really, falls into the territory of Han Solo or, those types of characters. He falls on that category. And if you look at the character specifically, it does look like that Disney may have, years ago, before they even had Johnny Depp on this role, it's quite possible that they actually based this character off of Captain Jack Sparrow. I mean, when you look at him, he has that similarity, he has that look, he's got that nature, he's got that, personality a little bit here and there. So, I think that's ultimately why they offered Depp the role years ago. This might be going back to 2018 or 2019, give or take, and eventually letting him go from that because of what happened with the overall Pirates of the Caribbean franchise and how they kicked him off those movies and how the whole Amber Heard situation came to light. It only created more problems, and basically prior to all of that, Johnny was not really in agreement with what he was being offered, how much screen time he was being offered in the role, and exactly, all of that really kind of was a precursor to everything that happened with the Amber Heard situation. So, moving from all of this, alright, it picks up, additionally, Depp also wanted his character to have more screen time than what Disney intended to do with the character, which also created more problems between Depp and the Disney executives. This was going to be a big role for Johnny, and he wanted it to be perfect. And unfortunately, Disney was giving him less screen time than what fans would expect for somebody like Johnny Depp in the Star Wars franchise. This was essentially what led to as the beginning of the end before the Amber Heard situation, which ended it all together. Now, I don't know about you guys, but Hondo, of course, is one of the characters that I believe is a little underrated. If we look at the character of Hondo, obviously, given that he is at, the Disney experience with, Galaxy's Edge and everything related to that, we obviously know that Hondo is really a rising character. They're really trying to make this character more known, trying to bring him more to the familiarity level of Boba Fett or Han Solo or something around those lines. He's on that territory, but they want to bring him up in popularity. And that was their overall game plan to do it, by casting Johnny Depp, and that went sour. He got fired, he got let go from the series, and a lot of it had to do with the whole Amber Heard situation, but a lot of it also had to do with the fact that Depp was not agreeing with what he was being offered in terms of money, what he was getting in terms of screen time, and that was pretty much, everything that really kind of started it all from the very beginning. So Hondo as a character now, Disney's looking for somebody else. I would like to hear what you guys have to say about that, because who else could really play Hondo in live action form? I feel like that's going to be a very hard thing to do, or to actually make actually happen. I think that Johnny Depp would have been a perfect role, and it's just unfortunate that this never really came to light, and how a lot of things really led to the end of this entire plan by Disney. And, we see things like this happen all the time with Disney Star Wars. A lot of concepts and ideas that are either in limbo or are happening over a very long time and eventually fall apart. I'm kind of a little, a little skeptical about the Lando series falling into that territory as well. But overall, guys, drop a comment below. Let me know what you guys have to say about this below in the comments. And if you guys did enjoy the content for today, make sure to drop a thumbs up on this video to support the channel. I thank you all so very much for the kind support, and I'll catch you guys next time.